My computer's being weird.
Which relate to? Is it right?
Ow. Yeah, you know what? I think I put that in my glossary. Yeah.
Okay.
I just lost all my 20 years of text. There's something weird going on in the internet. Anyway, I don't want to interrupt you. You go ahead.
There's 3 questions. The first one is very easy. What's the subject? 35 vowels among the 3 big.
No boy can forget this.
Non-vowels.
Yeah, problems with sexual behavior. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Second, among the 35 vowels mentioned above, please give 2 examples concerning the lay person.
Can't go to a teaching.
Standing too close to one in a shack in the woods.
Nice.
Yeah,
And going to a teaching where a layperson's teaching.
Or letting me whisper into your ear.
Oh yeah, yes.
Oh yeah, whispering.
Whispering.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay.
That's an interesting one, you know. I didn't think about that.
That's not a layperson.
Oh, that.
It could be.
The third question. Please give another vowel among the 35 mentioned above, regardless whom it relates to.
Just say anything. Do you remember anything from that?
Yeah, anything.
So embarrassing.
What was it?
Not really.
Regardless.
To you. 2 fingers deep.
Yeah, being in a shack in the woods works for both ordained and non-ordained people.
Yeah.
Shack in
Let's go on. It's too embarrassing. Yeah.
You made it.
She's old.
X-rated.
He's struggling.
Things X-rated. She's like, how am I gonna do this?
Make a question.
Here's the homework. I'm going to the bathroom. All right, here we go. I go back.
FYI to anyone who cares, connecting to SkimGuess 2G appears to work. As opposed to the other.
Oh, right on.
Thank you so much.
Cool.
So my test is in the jobs.
Just about to be.
Okay.
What is the password for that? Is it 1357?
Twice.
Thank you so much.
Okay, please read, Xiaoping.
Where?
Start at the top.
Cái lông mà răng khi lúc khi mà răng ní khi cứu thả khi chính khắp phạt xuyên là để
Zhou.
để cho tu giúp phá thắng để thả chết thế chính phá chết cho tu giúp phá thế Prep pa chewa nin pa tang dan pa le kiu pe tun jetsu chit tang.
Wow. All right. The subject speeded you up.
Still whispering.
Now, I realized that the last class I had with you, I used the wrong version, my wrong version, and I had a newer version, which did have her progress report in it. So, you know, I'm sorry. I thought I did it, and then I realized I was using the wrong one for you. So here's your progress report. It's not very good news. I'm afraid you're going to be doing this for quite a while. Okay.
Don't worry, you can stand here together.
The whole text is 50 folios. We've done 13 folios total in 6 terms. So it's going to take, we're only doing about 2.5 folios per term. So it's just going to take until 2024.
Does it count the Chijiang which is...
She already finished it.
No, I already finished that.
Right.
She doesn't have to translate that. Yeah. This is with my translate. If I hadn't translated, it should be 2050. Anyway, your text is going to take a while. You're stuck with this nun stuff for quite a while. Okay. Okay, here we go. This is that weird one I mentioned last time. It took me a while. Ma, rama, tama. means an open wound. And it can mean if you get smallpox and there's an open wound or a bad zit or something, okay? By the way, sometimes the sexual organ is called a ma.
A woman's sexual organ?
Yeah, it's called the wound,
Yeah.
okay? And then, but this doesn't refer to that one, okay? Although it could have. And
Because they're talking about stitching.
so her own body, and this is if she got a disease like measles or something, and she has an open pox, okay? And she ties it up with a cloth, but as gyutup. Gyutup means with some idea in mind. Yeah, she has some tricky thing in mind she's gonna do. So she says, oh, if I tie this up, I can get a boy to untie it for me. You see what I mean? So in advance, it means in advance she's planning. You know, this afternoon I'd like to meet a boy. So she puts it on in the morning. Okay.
It's a funny example because
Ching.
you wouldn't think when you have smallpox at the time.
Yeah, I know, but everyone had it in those days. So it's not such a big thing. Kepa, by the way, which should mean anybody who has been born, is the word for male. Okay,
It's supposed to come up.
yeah, it's an old Me Too thing. So, Kepa Shenla, so another person who's male, okay, you, here's a verb from Drulma.
You
To liberate, to
ask
untie.
it to-
Yeah, you're asking them to untie. So, Drulma means Tara, right? But Drul as a verb means to untie. And Delpa is related to that.
Commentary, yeah.
Yeah, commentary unties the meaning. Okay. So anyway, drill to juk. Don't forget when you have a postposition or preposition,
Ask him to.
aladun. Yeah. With juk after it, it means to get someone else to do it. Okay. So you get someone else, a male, to untie it for you. Okay. And when you have asked, okay, when you have incited them to untie it, and they have, usually they try to pinpoint the moment at which you broke the vow. Okay, so chedrul means when he's halfway, he's got the first half of the knot undone, then you broke it, okay, like that. Or you do half and you say, oh, I can't finish, you know, I untied a little bit, but I can't finish, you know, could you do it for me? So che means half, to the jukba. Then out of the blue, out of nowhere, he says, Rekpa Chawa Memba, someone not to be touched. Someone who is not to be touched. Okay, and this is the Rekpa we had in contact in link number 6.
Situation.
Okay, so it means any person that it's not appropriate to touch. Or Temba Le Kyopa means, this Temba, as we saw in these vows, is to rely on sexual activity. So it means rely, but it's just a euphemism for sex, okay? Like do something sexual, okay? He says, there's the Tungche, the downfalls, the 11. There's the 11. How many are in our category? 35. We're in the middle of 35, in the middle of 180, in the middle of 364. Okay? And no one mentioned 11. Okay? And it's totally unfair. And this is a category, this is a subcategory from ancient times. But if you're going to go to this one, you should have put all of them. And he doesn't. Okay? He just, at random, says, those are the 11. You know, those are the 11. But he didn't mention that he's going to do 11. So this is a category of 11 of the 35, which are called don't touches and don't rely on. Why he decided to suddenly, in the middle of the 35, to isolate these 11 is beyond me. I think he was confused. I think the student who took the notes or something was confused. Because it's a sub-level of detail that we don't have anywhere else.
There's no reference.
Okay, yeah, there's no reference to it. But to make it easier for you, I started putting 2 numbers on the end. What are they?
15 and 11.
This is 15 of the 35, and it's 11 of the 11. See, and then go back. I did it if I had given you the right copy, 14:10, 13:9,
Yeah.
12:8, okay? Because I was confused, okay? So here's where the 11 starts. In Sonawa, the ancient Kagyu commentator from the 13th century, the 11 starts here, okay? And he numbers them. So I confirmed the numbering. 4 are standing, 4 are whispering, 2 are reading and studying
Oh yeah.
from a layperson, right? And 1 is tying wounds. Okay, so now it confirms it, okay? So who's the 11 is confirmed, okay? And it's very confusing that he numbers this group separately within the 35 that relate to celibacy. Okay, there is such a category, but it doesn't just pop up in the middle of 35. Okay, very frustrating. Your book is frustrating. I was complaining about it last night. V's like, "What's the problem?" I said, "I don't know." And she's like, "Yeah, okay." She's so tired of, the weird things in ancient Buddhist texts.
Wait, each text has like a specific different kind of problem for you.
Did you notice?
Yeah.
You think it might be coming from me?
That's coming from me.
You're coming from me, that's a problem. Okay. All right. Here's Sonawa's commentary, by the way. This is he confirms the 11 for you. Okay. All right, here we go.
Shenki Butang Loma Ning Kang Yang Rangwa Zawa.
Sawa.
Zawa.
And then go down to here.
Oh.
Soki.
Soki Sokyong
Sokyong.
Sokyong Chepa Bu
Pu. Not bu. Bu means worm. Pu means sun.
Bu
Pu.
Bu Zokwe
Soe.
Zowe Tun Che Tang.
This is an interesting one, and V and I did talk about this last night. So somebody else has a child, and you don't break the vow if it's your own child, okay? But if someone else has a child, and whether that child is a boy, or a girl, or an in-between, which in ancient times they had. In ancient times they had it. They recognized people who were in between male and female. They recognized 3 sexes, actually 4. But maning means kind of half and half.
Was 4 like leaning
Okay.
leaning the other way? Like,
What's that?
was it
I forget. It's called
No.
for a
yeah. It's a eunuch who got cut off, or an accident. What's that?
Is it biological?
I think it can be either. Either you have psychological tendencies towards both, or physically you have both organs, which they say existed in ancient times. Okay, but I believe it can also refer to someone who has a strong male identity and a strong female identity at the same time. Yeah, okay. So anyway, Kangyang Ruma, it could be any of the above. Kangyang Ruma means any of the above. Sawa, I spent about 2 hours on it, and then I realized it was misspelled. It's Sewa, okay? All right. Love. It's even misspelled for love, but anyway, okay. Sewa. And it means to take care of them as if they were your own child with love. Lovingly care for them. And I only found it in the Vinaya Sutra. I had to go back 2,000 years and I found it. Okay. And I struggled. It means poo-poo obscurely. I thought maybe if you wipe their poo-poo or something, but it doesn't mean that. It means to lovingly, sowa, apostrophe, okay, TSO.
Nurture.
Yeah, exactly. Rakshita. Alakshanta Rakshita. As opposed to,
Widespread. Wide.
yeah, MTSO, which means lake. And a big lake is a gyatso. A wide lake is an ocean. So you rarely see apostrophe TSO. MTSO is common. Yeah, Shanta Rakshita. Sokyong means Rakshita. To protect, to take care. Soa and Kyungwa together means Sokyong. It means protect and nurture. Okay, Chepa is not allowed for a nun. You're not allowed to take another person's child and bring them up. But because it's too much distraction. But if you've already had a child and then you become a nun, you are expected to continue to take care of that child. You can't abandon that child. Okay. So it means somebody else's child.
Any age restrictions? Or
No, not really. And that I don't know. They don't talk. I didn't get that far.
Can you make
But,
them move out when they're 40?
You didn't have millennials.
But
maybe it was just a different millennium.
yeah, it's an interesting vow. And I read the whole incident. The incident was with the same lady, Bomgamo.
Same lady?
Yeah, and she didn't have time to put on her robes or take her begging bowl and go beg. And basically, she was becoming a derelict nun. She was not doing the thing she was supposed to be doing. And so Buddha said, we can't have this. We can't have people going out finding orphan kids, bringing them to the monastery. And, you don't have time to meditate. You don't have time to do anything. So he said, he made a rule. No more. Okay, but if it's your own child, you should do it. Okay, whether the kids could come in the monastery, I don't know. I don't know what happened.
Does it mean
okay.
that nuns are not allowed to manage orphanage or separate?
I don't think it means that at all. I just think it means there's a sort of a selfishness implied. For your own pleasure, it's almost like keeping a pet or something. For your own pleasure, you keep this thing. Okay. Yeah, here's Bomgamo. She's the one. And she was also the abbess who did all the weird stuff. And there's a list of things she did for the kid. She washed him with the water from the well. She put eye drops in his eyes. She drew the sacred dots on his forehead, which I studied for you. It was some kind of protection thing in ancient times, but it takes time. And it's done with coal and water or something like that. Anyway, and she fed him with butter and honey mixed together. Okay, and the whole thing just took too long, and it became a gakcha. Okay, it became a gakcha. Okay, it became something the Buddha didn't allow anymore. Okay, and here's the problem: sepe nyomombo pelwa. It increases your attachments. Yeah, okay, it increases your sense of attachment. Okay, gepa sipa, link number 8. That's the old meaning. Okay. All right, here's 38, 39, 38. Here's 3 together. Okay, go.
Shen ki kim do de kim da lama jipa zen mo da wa tang
Nice.
kiep yo pe nasu
Nay.
where
Nesu, nesu.
ye pa yo
Yeah.
ye me ma ta pa zen mo da wa tang ke long ma shen pe ne right
Nekang.
ne kang den yo yo pe nang du zan mo zen mo da wa de ngo pa ne pa du pe go ma che pe tung che sun dang.
Cool. All right, here we go. All right, Shingi Kimdu in another person's house. Okay, not your own residence, in another person's residence. Okay, without asking the owner of the house. Okay, mati par, you tsemo da, nda.
You stay for the night, or you?
The night passes. You pass the night. You pass the night, the whole night until dawn, without asking them. That's the first of these 3. That's 38. Okay, that's the first one. Let's say their daughter has invited you to hang out for the night, you must ask the father. You must inform the father you're spending the night there. That's all. You know, this is an old paternalistic Indian culture. You got to ask the head of the house. Or if the wife invites you, you got to tell the husband. Okay. You got, especially if there's a male involved. Okay. No, that's just the thing. That's the point here. Okay. Now, second one, which is 39. Kyab yupin nesu. If the place is such that it's not open, you know, if it's got doors or window shutters, kyab here, which normally means refuge, right? Here it means cover, like kyab, kyaba, kyab, dama. Okay, yeah. So if the place has something that would block other people seeing what's going on, okay, kyab yupe ne. And I struggled, and then I realized it was misspelled. It's really frustrating. You can't imagine how frustrating it is. I mean, you struggle for an hour, and then you realize it's misspelled. Okay, so anyway, and unfortunately, this author is from a part of Tibet where they didn't have a high standard of spelling and stuff, or just it was messy. It's not like Chone or not like Lhasa. It's like out in the boondocks. And this text is disastrous as far as the spelling and everything. It's a good text. It will be very valuable, especially to the nuns of the universe. But, you know, as a carving, it's a mess. And it's very frustrating. Anyway, yume means whether or not there's a kepa.
A man.
Good. Whether you don't check whether there's a man in the house before you sleep there. Okay, and there's a cover on the house, you know. It's not open to the air. People can't look in. Okay, so before you sleep there, before you spend the night, you better bratak. Check if there's any boys around. Okay, and if you don't, you broke a vow. Okay, you can't spend the night there without walking around the house and making sure there's no boys hanging out. Okay.
So does it matter whether if there is no male inside, will the nun?
Daddy doesn't say. You know.
Vacation.
Yeah, he doesn't say. You gotta be aware of how many and where they are. I'd say that. Okay. Okay. If you don't check, you broke the vow. Okay. Now, Gelong Mashembin Ne Kang.
Another nun's house.
Yeah, if you go to another nun's residence, Tang Yok, I take it to be under the same roof. But in one commentary, it says Lagap Mepa, which means where there's no cover.
We have that same phrase.
Okay. Yeah, we did. So you can take it either way. If you spend the night, you break it. Now that would say, if you spend the night in another nun's house, you break the vow, which is not true, because they're expected to stay together in the same residence. So I worked on that, work. It took like an hour. They left out the no nun. He left out the word, but there's no other nun there.
You stay in her house, but she ain't home.
You cannot stay in a nun's residence if there's no other nuns there, because a boy could come in and nobody would know. You see, you're expected to sleep in a monastery, in a nunnery, where there's lots of other nuns who will see it if a boy comes in. Okay, and he left it out, and it drove me crazy. You know, okay, because it seemed to say, you know, to sleep in the same room with another nun, but you're supposed to sleep in the same room with another nun, okay? And you break it if there's no other nun in the room. Okay, got it? Really frustrating. Okay, then here, okay, Gom Che, you should stop your meditation. Okay, I spent an hour on that. It's a misspelling. It's Go Mache.
Don't open the door.
You didn't shut the door, okay?
But that's the name of the vow, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's that mean? You're supposed to not shut the door. Why is it called the vow where you didn't shut the door? Okay, even if you spell it right. Okay, I'm going crazy. Then I noticed the nipa. I think it's metaphorical. You don't shut the door to the potential problems. See, you don't anticipate potential problems. You see what I mean? I think that's what the shutting the door means. Okay.
Can come in?
No, it's just you didn't guess what might be problem. Okay, you didn't prevent the problem before it happened. You didn't like check the place for if there's boys or not. It's proactive. You see, you didn't check ahead of time to shut the door to potential problems. I take it this way, and it's a mess. I mean, it's all over the Vinaya. It's a mess. This one's a mess, and it gets worse. The next one's worse. Okay, this one took me hours. Okay, So anyway, then I thought maybe under the same roof you gotta separate them, and it's not like that. Okay, it's metaphorical. All right, it's a mess. Here's the correct spelling: Goma Chepa.
Oh,
Okay.
you found it somewhere.
And this says Le Pap de Nyawachena, if you just flop down and sleep anywhere without thinking ahead of what might happen. Okay, that's one of the nice, and this is from the Kangyo. Okay, this is from the Kangyo. Okay, you can't just flop down and sleep in a place. You got to check things out. You got to make sure it's appropriate. You got to ask the owner of the house. You got to make sure there's no boys around. You got to make sure there's other nuns around in case a boy does come in the room. Like that. Those are the three. Okay, in that group. There is, and it's very little known. It's very little studied. There is a separate Vinaya Vibhanga, or just for nuns, and it's very well written.
Wow.
It's very easy to read, relatively easy to read. It's well written and it's well laid out. It's a pleasure to be in it.
Is it incomplete? Is that why?
No, it's not. The vows were there. They were all written down. It was some monk decided we won't have nuns because the blessing was broken.
Right.
The information was there. No one used it.
Wow.
Which is, I think it's very prejudiced. Okay. Anyway, here we go. Okay, go. This one's easy, and it's spelled correctly.
Gelong ma shen tang len chik luki sha rek pa tang she xing zen mo niao wa long yo ching ne pa tang wet tum che tang.
Yeah, I'm going to put that equal sign, which equals what?
The name of the...
Yeah, here comes the name. Here comes the Life Tools tricky name. Cute name. They all have cute names, okay? And they are weird. You can never figure out what it means from the name. They're always kind of cryptic names, okay? They're not obvious names. The name doesn't tell you what the vow's about. Unfortunately. Okay, here we go. Gelong Ma Shen.
Some other nun.
Another full nun. Senchik.
Together?
Yeah, together with them. You Semo Nyawa.
You sleep the night.
You sleep all night with your Luki Shar Vikpa.
With your flesh touching her.
Yeah, with your flesh touching. Your flesh is your open flesh is touching her open flesh. There's no cloth between. Your skin is touching her skin. It's not, you don't break the vow if you both have pajamas on. Okay? Or if you're not, if your pajamas are touching, it's probably you broke a different vow. This is skin on skin.
Even it's another nun?
Yeah. If your skin is touching her skin. And one of the commentaries says here, which commentary is this? This is the Sonawa, the early great Vinaya writer. He said it should be the Shatang. And I looked it up, and it's defined as Supome.
Lower part of the body.
Yeah, so the flesh of the lower part of the body is touching. He defines it that way. Like if you're touching hands or foreheads, it looks like it's okay. Okay, but he's the only one who does that. Our author says that the flesh skin is touching skin. Okay, and you spend the night that way. Then you have committed the tungje called longju da ne tangwa. And I take it to be tangwa means you gave up, like tong, send away. You didn't have, your positioning was, you failed as far as positioning and as far as
Activity.
pajama cloth. Okay.
Oh, longevity.
Yeah, long chupe cha.
Yeah.
Some stuff you use. So I take it to be, the vow's name is pajama and positioning failure. Okay. Meaning there should be cloth between your skin. You see what I mean? There should be something between you. Can I tell you about that or not? I probably shouldn't tell you about that. Something happened to me when I was a kid. Okay. Anyway.
Now it's easier.
It's a funny story. Should I tell you?
We'll shut down the camera.
Nah. It's really funny though. No, I kind of promised V I wouldn't tell her secrets in the class. Okay.
It's just us and you.
Okay. When we were kids, when me and V were teenagers, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, 16 years old, and my mom took us out camping to Tonto Creek, which is not far from here. It's about an hour away from here, and there was cabins there. And when we got there, there was only 2 beds. And so she's like, my mom's like having a, then she said, okay, you guys can sleep in the same bed, but then she took all the blankets and rolled them up and put it between us. And it didn't work. I mean, what kind of parent would think that's going to work?
Oh, I can't get through this blanket here.
But if anyone ever tells that to me, I'm going to kill you. Okay?
We have like
You told me that story in front of her one time.
Yeah, that's okay. They're not going to... And by the way, it wasn't a serious thing. It was just making out, okay? All right. Okay. We were just kissing, okay? It didn't prevent that. And who would have thought it would? It's kind of, I'm just telling you for Ezra, like, don't expect it to work.
Okay.
He's already got it.
Okay, here we go, 42.
Juniper.
Kẻ long mà sen đã lạc rằng ký lưu lạc để giá thắng chú
Ndrumar. Ndrumar.
Ndruma để sen thế giá kỳ trí xích chế tu Zhou thắng.
We got jukpa.
someone does.
Yeah, you're getting somebody else to do something. You're getting someone else to do something. And it's a gelong machine.
Another nun.
And it could be plural.
Etc.
Okay? Other nun or nuns. You get them to... Chi means to wipe.
Oh,
And we know shupchi.
foot wipe.
Yeah, foot wiper is the word for a lama's assistant. She's my shupchi. Okay, foot wiper. Honorable foot wiper. Shup, yeah. Okay, so anyway, chi means to wipe. Okay, and chi means with scent. Chima. Chime, like a good smell, like perfume. So,
Applying
okay.
oil to some other nun, basically.
Yeah, but scented oil, that's the problem.
With scented oil.
Yeah, scented oil, fragrant oil. Okay. And then he gives 2 kinds of stuff you can use for the massage, which is legal, which is okay. Okay. Dagze means exfoliant. You put clay in the oil to take off the dead skin. You know, which you can do. You know, you can buy that at the spa at this local hotel, and it's extra price. They put dirt in it, and it takes the. But you know, that's called dak. Dak is the ancient word for mud. Dakma, when we get to the Abhidharma, the opening lines, the swamp has dot in it. Okay, it means mud. Mud pack. Mud pack. What do they call it? What do they call it in the spa? Mud.
Mud bag?
Mud pack, mud mask.
Yeah. So it's okay. That's legal. Mud pack is legal. And Dumar, sesame oil massage is legal. But if you put perfume in it, it becomes illegal. Okay, because then it gets into the thing of
Sensuality.
then it relates to the vows about sensuality. You know, it's too sensual, and it would attract bees with stingers. All right, you get the point. Okay. Okay, here's the next one. Oh, by the way, there's 22, 23, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 8 in the next vow.
Oh.
8 in one group. 43 to 50. Okay.
Deshin du geloma la de ta chetu jupatang gesuma la de ta chetu jupatang kimpa mo la de ta chetu jupatang bume shen rangi lula chu wa
Bashik.
ki ru chetu jupatang za dream shimpo ranki lula
Cuba.
jupatang
It looks like it's saying, getting any of those different.
ranki lula inju ma ki chik ma
Sikme.
tikme rangi ki ruwatang
Kua.
Kuadam.
Tang Shen Ku Du Njupa De
Chi.
Dejit Do Che Pa Le Gyu Pe Tung Che Kya Tang.
Okay, get. Yeah, so here's the number 8. We're going to have eight vowels in this group. But they're all grouped together because they're very similar, as you're going to see.
Not getting any of these.
You jukba a gelobma to do the same thing.
Novice, intermediate,
To
bathe.
massage you with
Scented oil.
scented oils. Okay? So you, okay, all right. The last one was a full nun.
Right.
Okay? Now you get a novice nun to do it for you. Okay?
Then an intermediate.
Sorry, an intermediate nun to do it for you. Then you get a novice nun to do it for you.
Then a householder.
Yeah, then you get a mo kimba.
A householder woman.
Yeah, a householder woman, a non-ordained woman to do it for you.
Or any
Then you get,
some other woman.
no, now it changes. Now the vow changes because that would have fit another kimba mo. You get any woman, any other woman to wash you only with water. Okay, to bathe you, your body, and touch your body. It would be too sensual, okay? Any other woman, you get them to bathe you only with water, and now guess what the next one is? Yeah, there's something in the water. Yeah, okay. So yeah, then to wash ku, okay, which is kind of to smear on yourself. Zeti shimbo, good smelling stuff. Good smelling stuff, and this is when you do it to yourself. You cannot apply to your body ointments which smell good. Yeah. So that switches, right? The stuff switches and the person switches. You're doing it to yourself. Number 7, I guess, or 6. You're doing it to yourself, okay? And you're applying scents to yourself. Okay, kupadang. And this ku is to smear, okay? Or you apply, Dumar is a legal oil to apply to yourself because it's a neutral smell, but if you put the sigmas in it, and this means the burnt shells of the sesame. Apparently, if you leave the shells in the oil, it gets sensual. Okay. Like
Hull.
like if you have a sunflower seed and you split it open and you eat the sunflower, but if you split up the sunflower seed and you take the sunflower nut and you make oil and you put it on yourself, that's okay. But if you take some of the shell and put it in the oil, I guess it's
That's a good time.
something wrong with that. Okay, the shell. If you use the shell and the nut oil. Okay.
Which word is shell?
Sigma means burnt,
Burnt shell.
and it's misspelled. Okay, so it should be sigma.
It's like roasted geshl or something.
It's the roasted leftover of the shell. It's kind of like what you use in your meditation seats. You use, that's called the sigma.
Buckwheat.
Yeah. So if you leave some of the shell in the oil, I guess it's too sexy or something. I don't know. All right.
Smells good.
Okay.
That's okay.
It's okay to put the oil on your body if it has no perfume in it. But if it has the shell still left in the oil from the nut, then I guess it's too, it might make you excited or something. I don't know. Somebody must have done something wrong with shelled piece butter, sesame butter. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. I mean, just imagine how long it took to figure it out. Especially if they misspelled the kua to the one that means to rob somebody. Okay? All right? It's just mean. Okay?
Just 3.5 more minutes.
Okay? Skua, please. And skud, but it seems to be a lot of options here. Okay? You know, but it was very frustrating. The same sound means to rob somebody. Some like rob the oil, take out the shells, you know. And this is rangniki, okay? To smear it on yourself when it has still the shells in it that does something to stimulate you somehow. Okay? I don't know. We gotta try it and see what happens.
Forget the BSKU because SKU means holy body.
It can also mean a verb.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to leave it as close to his spelling as I can.
I see.
Okay? I'm trying to leave it as close to his as... He didn't choose to put a D on it, so... That's okay, but the S is... The R is unacceptable. To change it to thievery is unacceptable. Yeah. Whether or not you make it more active or not, I'll let that go. You know? And if you use two different spellings in two sentences next to each other, I can live with it. Okay, anyway. Last one. Jukpa somebody else to do that with the nut shell particle oil. Okay, so if you really wanted to be thorough, you would say 1, and then you'd say 2, and then you'd say 3, and then you'd say 4, and then you'd say 5, and then you'd say 6, and then you'd say, how many are we supposed to have?
8.
Uh-oh. Okay, no more than 10 minutes. Yeah, I only see 7. I guess I'll have to go back over it and try to find another one.
Oh, there's another tongue there.
Where?
No, at the very end.
That just means and it's the 8.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, top.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look it up.
Actually, did you look at that other commentary on the full nun's house about the shells in the ointment?
Yeah, that sounds really weird.
I did. I worked on it for a while.
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
I can try to work on it more.
I haven't heard.
Yeah. I may be wrong. I'll do more on that. Okay. Are we out of time?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna come back to that. Stopped here. Check why not 8, and check the shell thing. Okay.
Because Jim just looked at a version and it's not there.
At a version of the vowels.
Yeah.
How did they in English?
In English.
What do they say is the difference?
They don't actually even have that. They have the massage thing.
Oh, okay.
They don't have the shell thing.
So how do they?
Just sitting down in front of a monk.
Okay. It's possible. Let me check. I'll check.
I think it's an exfoliant. That's my guess.
I believe so too. No, exfoliants in the form of mud particles are acceptable.
But shells are too hard.
No, but this all has to do with sensuality, not scratching up your skin. Okay, anyway, I don't know. I'll check it.
Can you tell us the name of the vowel?
Oh, the name of the vowel. I was hoping you wouldn't ask that. Chidor usually means to sweep up a room, or clean a room from garbage. But I take it here to be wiping or moving your hand like this. I don't think it's sweeping the room.
It's like rubbing.
It's the word that's used for sweeping the room before you do meditation, for example. But I don't think that's the point here. I think it's the motion. Okay, chidor, chipale. Okay, related to wiping. What do you call it?
Scrubbing.
Enthusiastic wiping. Okay, something like that. Okay, how's that? Okay. 8. I don't know. We're missing one.
Sashi
Purki Joshime Totam Virabdin Shin Hinde Gembadi Sangye Shindu Mikte Uwargi Dokun Namdak Shinla Chuparsho Idam Guru Ranamandala Kaniryatayami
Kewa
Di Kewo Kun Sanam Yeshe Tzotzoshin Sanam Yeshe Lechungwe Tamba Kuni Tobasho Shogadi Shmogadi Acha.
In some bikini magazine, when they take pictures, they do, like the model do have sand on the body. It's supposed to make it more central for people.
I'll look it up. Yeah, I understand.
Because it implies
I understand.
Yeah.
It's like they were rolling around in ignored.
Maybe she figured real time.